Tom Brady owning the Dolphins and playing for the Dolphins as if he was Jackie fucking Moon was allegedly very close to happening. Now, it has been reported now by two different people. There was one report of it by Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio, and we knew that Mike Florio knows people and knows things and talks to agents and talks to teams, and he's been around and covering the NFL and been the landing page for most NFL coaches around the NFL in their offices for like the last 20 years. So Florio knows his shit. He was the one that was banging the drum like, hey, Tom Brady was going to be an owner of the Dolphins and play for the Dolphins after he retired from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was not supposed to come back to the Bucs. He was supposed to come back to the Dolphins. Basically, is what Mike Florio has been reporting, and it hadn't really been chatted about because nobody other than Florio was reporting it. Normally, if Florio reports something or any of these other insiders report anything, the other insiders will follow up with somebody that'll get it right, get it confirmed, and then they'll all run with it as if they were told the information as well. Florio was the only one talking about Tom Brady and the Dolphins for a long time. So we had seen it. It had obviously crept into our world because Florio is in our world. We do follow along. So we were looking at it. We didn't really talk about it much. We even asked Ian Rappaport about it, and Rappaport was like, doesn't sound like that could be something that even happens or something like that. Now, we are learning that Ben Volen of the Boston Globe, he is senior NFL insider reporter for the Boston Globe. He is also reporting that Miami reportedly planned to pursue Sean Payton and had Brady at quarterback too. The plan was scrapped after Brian Flores' lawsuit, which was filed the same day Brady retired. So when Brady retired, he was planning on becoming part owner of the Dolphins and player as if he was Jackie Moon. That is also coming from Front Office Sports, who accrued both of those. So Ben Volen of the Globe's a pretty big deal, right?
Oh yeah, massive deal.
Yeah, that's like super journalism, insider, right?
Yeah. Old newspaper. Been there for a while.
Took down some shady organizations.
Goddamn right.
I'm talking about the Catholic priest in Boston.
Yeah. Getting a little handsy.
Oh, that was that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Spotlight.
So the Globe is like OG news,
Legitimate.
So-
Investigative journalism.
Yeah.
So like somebody, by the way, that whole thing is wild too. There's another
Despicable.
thing that just happened and people just kind of, I mean, it's two here, the first two subjects we've talked about today. It's like,
Bullshit.
how has that just
going on?
continued
How?
to...
I mean, you guys.
In the world that we live in right now, somebody doesn't tip properly, they get canceled. Somebody tips less than what people expect them to be able to tip to somebody. That gets projected. They get no talked about. But this whole... Anyways, we'll move along. Ben Volen, though, this is a big-time deal if he's reporting this as well. Tom Brady to the... Think about how pumped Giselle had to be, right? Miami's like big-time...
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
the whole, like their whole
Fashion.
entire globe. I think he already has a house down there. He's going to be owner of the Dolphins, player, coach, owner. Let's go. What an amazing thing to happen. And then the lawsuit probably distracted that. And, you know, maybe Tom Brady decided, I don't want to go work with this guy that's paying people to lose. And maybe that's what happened. Or maybe they just thought now's not the time for us to be able to do this because of the lawsuit that seems to be super serious and might be setting a precedent for the NFL for the future. But it's crazy that was going to take place. Did Sean Payton retire out of nowhere because he thought he was going to maybe go be part owner of the Dolphins and their head coach? And did Tom Brady retire out of nowhere because he thought he was going to be part owner of the Dolphins and the starting quarterback for the Dolphins? Is that what happened? And now that he's back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you got to think the writing's on the wall. He's going to Miami next year then, right? He's going down there to do the same exact thing as soon as his contract is over, right? Because Bruce Arians said, it's going to take 5 ones if you want to fucking trade for him. Maybe BA had heard the rumblings that he retired so that he could go down to Miami. He was like, well, that ain't bad business. That's not what we're doing there. But I would like to say, great business for Tom Brady if he's going to become a fucking owner of a team to play football. Allegedly, it was just rumor, and people know that I know Payton, so whenever I say this, people think this came from Payton. I am saying this just strictly as somebody that heard the rumor mill and would never directly ask the Mannings about their business because I don't think that's my role in my relationship with the Mannings at all. Like, hey, is this what's happening? Allegedly, the Titans were trying to make Payton an owner, and then he would be able to be the quarterback for their team. That was just something that was being chatted about whenever he was cut from the Indianapolis Colts and a free agent at the time because he was visiting the Titans Obviously, he went to Tennessee. There is numerous streets in Tennessee called Manning Way. The amount of kids named Payton in Tennessee is more than any other state, other than maybe Indiana caught up to it because of that. So that was just rumblings. I was like, oh, that would make sense. And that would be awesome if he fucking owned the team and played for the team. And in Nashville with his connections and everything, it would have been sweet. He ends up at Denver. I think they give him the keys. So maybe that wasn't real at all. I think this would be the first time that would take place. That would be amazing. Fucking good for Tom if that was going to take place. And who knows if that starts becoming a new norm maybe out there.
I would assume that offer stays on the table then if this is accurate too, right? I mean, it's not like outside of, who knows, Brady playing terrible this year and then having it be very apparent like, oh, maybe he is done. Like, it's not like they're going to pull that away. Like,
Sean Payton gets golf for a year.
Well, and you mentioned it, like, it does kind of make sense. When they asked Sean Payton when he retired, he was, they asked him, like, if he was done, and he was like, well, never say never. I'd look at other opportunities. I don't know what I'm going to do next year. Like, he basically, like, it was kind of like Brady's thing. It didn't really seem like a full retirement. It just seemed like that's what he was doing in the moment, and it makes a lot more sense now that this almost did happen then.
Sean Payton walking into his office one day, his phone rings. Talk to me. Oh, agent guy, what's going on? I'm going to get part of the fucking team? And live in Miami? What's my salary? Oh, I get to decide because I'm the fucking owner? Oh.
Done deal.
Yeah, actually, let me put a fucking memo. I'm retiring. Put a press conference out. It's happening at 3 o'clock. Because his retirement came out of on a Monday. It was like a random Monday, and then he did an hour and 10-minute press conference, and it was like, what the fuck just happened?
And he never really even used the word retire. It was step away.
Step away. Oh, good for them, man.
Yeah.
That had to be such a cool day for Tom whenever he was presented with, hey, you own a team and play quarterback, and it's Miami where you already have a house and your wife would love it, and there's the beaches, and there's still no state tax and everything. You're cool with that, right?
Sound good?
Yeah, tell Schefter to fucking put that tweet out.
Right now.
Tell Schefter to put that tweet out that I'm retired. Make me babyface because Schefter forced me into an early retirement. Let's go ahead and do this whole thing. I'm not saying that's what took place, but you could see how maybe that being held in front of them would be like, yeah. How much was the media rights deal you guys just signed for? $110 billion. Oh. That's going down too, probably, right? With like Apple coming in and Netflix coming in and Google coming in and Amazon already in. That number's not going to go up, right? That's only going to go. It's going to double. It's going to triple. And that's just half of our profit because the other half, the merch, the stadiums, the sales, everything, that's going to probably go up too because the NFL is now going more global. There's going to be games in Germany now and in England, probably in Australia at some point. I mean, there's going to. Oh, okay, so I get to be a fucking part of that and play and run the team? Yeah, okay. You could see how that would be pretty
exciting. All
right, retire. I'm retiring today. Fucking get me out of here. It seems like that's more and more true. Ben Volen knows his shit.
Yeah, he knows his shit. And also when you just look at like what the Saints did, I don't think Sean Payton would have retired if he knew they were going after Deshaun Watson unless he had this Miami plan in the back. And it makes sense too because wasn't it reported that B-Flow wouldn't meet on the owner's yacht, Ross's yacht, because it was Brady, or he didn't want to do that entire thing and didn't want to have Brady as his quarterback. So as soon as B-Flow gets fired, Brady comes back, and then Sean Payton, steps away. But turns out Brady's going back to Tampa, unfortunately.
This is insanity. It's awesome. Good for both of them.
Yeah.
Good for Sean and for Tom. Now, backfired. It turned like it didn't work. But Sean golfs for a year, Tom plays for Tampa for a year, and then we're right
Without
back.
Bruce, too.
At Bubba Gumpino. How do you feel about this whole thing, man? Dolphins fans got to be sitting here thinking to themselves, well, goddamn, at least we tried to really go for it.
It never ends with the Dolphins, it feels like. There's always something fucking floating around. The big part of this is if it doesn't go well with Tua, Tom Brady will be the starting quarterback for the Dolphins.
Yeah, all season. All season. So instead of like Fitzmagic coming in with 2 minutes left,
it never ends.
Instead, the Dolphins fans are just going to be like, oh, that's all right. 2 or 3 picks.
It never fucking ends.
Tom Brady's here next year.
No big deal.
Don't worry about it. I mean, Devontae Parker's having the best year he's ever had for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, he's 15.
We're going to get Gronk next year, too? Okay. Yeah. If Tom's here. Oh, yeah. He's already got a house in Miami, too.
Antonio Brown.
I think he likes Miami.
With Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek
Hill, Jalen Waddle.
All the guys from Miami that just want to come back home to Miami, you do what you did in Tampa to Miami, and it's actual home for all these guys.
If it's not Tom, it's Lamar Jackson. So I mean,
Hey, if we win a Super Bowl, whatever it takes, my friend.
Oh, fuck you, Gump. Like, what if Gump becomes king of the castle for the next 10 years and this just becomes the new thing?
possible.
It won't happen.
McDaniels feels different. He does.
McDaniel.
Yeah. McDaniels.
I said his name wrong the day after somebody spelled my name wrong in a tweet, and we talked about the person spelling my name wrong, and then I was calling McDaniels. You know, this guy acts like he's upset when people fuck up his name. He fucks up names all the time. Just wait for this Dana White conversation.
Yeah.